letter na Madam Toko no Chokome Akuffo Addo no on the 7th of February 2024 no. Mr. S. Okay, so letter so me team ne dia ba I will show you that letter on February 7th. I'll Chokoma Akuffo Addo no. I will show you the letter before I read. Letter ni. Thank you, Mr. P. Thank you, Mr. S. Thank you for bringing in this letter. Now, me team is having letter. This is the letter Otrono on the 7th of February. Or Sakache Akuffo Addo. First letter the 30th May. Or catch 2022 no. Odin Kakache Akuffo Addo say on for 5 judges we mra. And at 2024 7th February no. Or some reasons in here. Also or person or move judges no to 20. Now this is the letter. Otroye on the 7th of February 2024. Na or insist to say or person or movie judges no 20. Where ye Madam Toko no ne terminal report na me read actually no. And there are so many cases Asia at a point Edru say the judgment bedu no ne ayi judge na free Obusa the Chief Justice she does not give any reason because there are some people who think say they can run the Ghana judiciary no the way they want, but petition say society is here Emma pepe yo any impartiality any say the idea some krojeno emma so if you say e basada na ensem na e court na say nipa bi na sebio omo edinu amana eden akọ omo side no who is the Chief Justice attitude no sa nyoma na edeba enu nti na ogina so say yempam Madam Toko no.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them
in the petition. After that, it's a time we can do a little bit of social media segment and then end today's show. I'll be doing a lot of reading. My mentor said to me, I can position this laptop somewhere around here because the reading will be a lot. My mentor, what I can do, I need to move a few things around on this platform. In your brain now. Yentumima ubia enti de aircon ase yepese ubia hu de aircon. So yeah, let me first start with this team. All right, my team, mama me green light and say I can go ahead and do the petition. The ready and no be anti ase. Enti mo hwe me nyina from ma me ne fra anti ne frɛ o papa ne kan say that na se Kevin so obekin kan petition bi aba menkotie radio bi mo bi ndada o. Omo be kan caption natural omo wi a no kure na wo mu no omo kan kyerɛ Kevin Taylor say obenya botre aken kan petition no de wo mu nyina ma Ghana fo ate ase. Be kan ne brofo kakra na medwudwam. Me kan ne brofo kakra na medwudwam. Ene de brofo. Aboatwe. Ene de brofo, ene de bedwe. Inti brofo no ye kan na ebuma mamma mbufu brofo aye nyina ekosia ya arish kontomre. Ba ye kan enya ne fine so ade omje nya abotre na yeso ye koedim. Inti we ebe brofo gwa but me kan brofo na ma kire mu otwi. Me kan brofo na ma kire mu akankasem. Se ne ba ye ma amenom ye papa no obi abeti ase na obi mfa ase bi nkoto John Mahama so very very important. Inti ansa ne ye be kono obi anu so kakra aboatwe.
Yo, we are best fishermen. No, no answer my. I watch it. You will for Belgium fan. It was a Belgium fan. It was two Belgium fan. Why are you? Why round? Why are you? Why round? Why are you? Why round? Why are you? Super why round? It was for Belgium fan. It was a Belgium fan. It was two Belgium fan. It was a Belgium fan. Why are you? Why round? 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 Every papa no, what one is the motto? 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 Why round? Why are you? Why round? I want it. Original. I will go for bad. I want to tell bad. Where you mind, don't grumble.
When my dem kramba, hey, madam for sofu bi, sofu kesiye pa Ghana. Wa text me, Abuache original, sofu, sofu. Madam for sofu penyini omunyina mu ni National Cathedral no ka ho. Sasa foro, mi body dia omunyina bo hu. National Cathedral no ka ho. Wa text me say Abuache original, sofu Ghana sofu. Sofu me mamo idea kiti obehu sofu kro. Sofu no orhe bi se no ka jam say. Sofu no mi body this is yaro. National Cathedral o ka ho. Abuache enyo no start here no. Ono sofu na text me sharp Abuache original. Sofu na text me bi wo sofu we. Ewura de Ghana pa. Wasa the original sofu we. Me body di me say Ghana sofu mo. We are stubborn movie. All right, mommy anya gade juma na ye ko edim na budi asofo we chia. Sofo no kana National Cathedral no. Ono hwe so no. Oti Abuache atext bi Abuache original. Sofo. All right, what there? Me go kan bi me san mako body din me nyempo ma me ko benim. All right. Now Sofo. Hey, me konkre bia. Sofo we pa, munim no. Me say unim me ehun. Me won now from pedifo bebre Ghana. From court to a handful to there. Software will be any no Ghana. Me na make catch now. Obi any no. Are you famous? National Cathedral no count. Or not text me say Abuache original. The me say or the original also. There is software you. All right, now. Yes, Paul is who say me catch say Paul any 24 no. Also mu no tips. Wo politics kuno. Paul. Mama me fanjina na de be kan brofu ntima me no brofu tea kakra we tea no ye e de na abobo information aboko mama me num we no kakra na me de ginema sofo no we tea no am se kebitila oba na o de bottle bia ba we na wom we tea we and oboa original Abuache. All right, now let's take our business. Mama ye nimbre now yes, sorry, and then you bring the breaking news and say, the Chief Justice, President Akuffo Addo, petitioned to remove Chief Justice from office. Obi a petition another than Akuffo Addo, Professor Kweku Asare, or garden or professor, or the petitioner command another than Akuffo Addo. Now petition no, or say ye Chief Justice in free. If you say Chief Justice, wabo brabia sabrano etia Ghana sebio yemra ebo sebio oman ho bra. Eye ye constitution ene emra ebo eye judiciary eye sebio eye omo a omubu nsema Chief Justice eda no ewo eye de Ghana no na nsem na eye abranti a Akuffo Addo say Ghana man ho kwan na Ghana constitution man ho kwan say se yetu yensa anase yeyi obi president tu obi se ondi dwuma bi ema Ghana na nipa no wa misconduct no ho anase dwuma de na wedi no wa ndi no kwan a also disu no obu mra so a Ghana for as citizens, no, you're right to see a president say, Nipa we dear, Sebio, Nyoma we na waya, a chile say, a Juma Odoman, we Bugana Mraso, Ebuim Tia, Emma, Embrana Webusinti, a Yasa Nipa Betna, a office. Samukaya, time and another Danko Akuffo Addo, Eba office in 2017. Anche, Ena Emrantibi, Etro Krata Koma Akuffo Addo say, Madam Charlotte say, or ye the EC boss, no. Sebio Ghana emranoma eye Ghana for to me say omontra krata embra president no mo fama to nanim say Sebio eye nipa ye friend Madam Charlotte say no Sebio time na oye EC boss no nyoma bi wo ha oye ya amfa kwan mu a na etiamra entina na Danko Akuffo Addo enhwe sa nyoma no ngina so na onfa sa eye ensem no enkyere eye Council of State no the chair Council of State wi a ombie committee na committee no agitum say Charlotte say an conducting hu ya o se atwena so sa emrano ena nanado Danko Akuffo Addo edi so mampanyini a odi yi eye Charlotte say efri Electoral Commission ende obi atro eye petition de akwa eye nanado Danko Akuffo Addo odan ho the same president na krata na otro no otro e de epo ana point ana engina so enyina hye mu kire Akuffo Addo say wenti ena ende me ka kire wo say eye Madam Tokonu no Pamono as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Now, mama yanko kan krata no de ewum said the baya ochina kwase bi embetena wuntimi TV. Jimmy Phobia no kanka bi metena Peace FM. Sebio eye political goat bi embetena bebi embetum futuro ngumuni. We ɛyɛ dwumadi a yɛdi ɛde ayɛden ama Ghanafoɔ ehu nokore a yɛde kyekyere man. Now krataa no mebie so ha if you say ɛdɔɔso yie ɛyɛ 19 pages. So I will take my time and read the 19 pages to Ghanafoɔ. Now krataa no ofa kratafa ede nim the first page. Hey, and there. Obi anya ready na yebedwedwam 19 pages ye pon ane apon. Now ohwe krataa no so a omatro 17 December 2024. In fact, this is a public document. Okwa abontene a ewo ho obia obetumi akan. 17 December 2024. Now Mr. President office no omo receive sakrata we Ghana time 4:33 p.m. Reception no nipa na oje krata no ne number edaso 0244194142 ono ena sebio or reception ha krata no kosi ni so ni dindi Joseph Kobena Wuba ono ena je krata no sign ye ka say yaje ye de akoma president intisi na me no ka say sa petition no edana na dan Akuffo Addo table so. Na krata na nkasa o kan a de wo mu nie brofo ni nie me wia na medwudwam nipa sebio o petition na dan Akuffo Addo ana MPP aban we no nipa ye frɛ no amefa ne picture nto so ye frɛ no Mr. anasa Professor Stephen Kweku Asare onie oye Ghana ni mapa oye professor oye Ghana ni a osachira de America a ote Ghana sati America watro krata we oye Ghana ni Mbra man ho kwan se ono so ede na no asem ene ngina so a owo ede betu Akuffo Addo nim se ontu ho anamo nti abrantie ana papa yi a friend of Professor Stephen Kweku Asare ono ene chro krata we ede koma na adodankwa Akuffo Addo a o se yendi ho dwuma if you say na Chief Justice Madam Tokonu abobra bia brano eni se otena office se Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Now mama menko krata dim na medwudwam ahanko na obehu saade we uhu bi obebia biem Oma maka nyina oma read caption a kire no motwa wotro ene ntina am se nya abotre me na wo kan brofo na madwudwam. All right team. And somebody is drawing my attention to something. The petition was written on the 17th, but the person who received the petition received it on the 16th. So the petition was received before it was written. But we will deal with that matter. Let's look at what is in the petition. The petition was written on the 17th of December 2024. But Nipana or receive petition or Jubilee House no date is 16th of December 2024. So it means somebody is being diabolic in the Jubilee House. From what we are seeing on the petition, that means the petition was received before it was written. But we will get to that part. We will break it down. Thank you very much, team. Now, petition again, or say 17 December 2024. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Jubilee House, Accra. Dear Mr. President, petition for the removal of the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Her Ladyship Gertrude Saki Tokonu, CJ, pursuant to the provisions of Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Assembly Tino anase caption no anani tipo no kire say o say sakrata o trabre we krata o gina Ghana the constitution so de akire na Adodankwa Akuffo Addo Ghana nyina say mbra no hye ne keten say sebio the constitution aka no sa petition anase asem o betu anim no o gina Ghana constitution so na o de kire sakrata na bre Akuffo Addo enti enye say ne pe wahwe constitution no wahwe mmra no na ogina so e de atro krata no e de ama de Ghana say na Adodankwa Akuffo Addo ontu ho anamon. I'm sorry guys, I beg you, don't distract me. I'm not talking to my team, people calling my phone. Introduction petition page 1 or say I, Professor Stephen Kweku Asare, a citizen of the Republic of Ghana, respectfully submit this petition to Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, seeking the removal of Her Ladyship Gertrude Saki Tokonu, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, on grounds of, or say, or no, your friend no, Stephen Kweku Asare, or your Ghana ni mapano, or trakrata we the brand and Adodankwa Akuffo Addo say, Chief Justice and Chief Justice, Madam Tokonu no, was say, or pamono, na injina so o jina sunie. or see one stated misbehavior and incompetence. Or see nimba nyama mienu na ojina so edi akache na nado danko Akuffo Addo say e was Chief Justice no ya pamono or pamono enime ya na nyama mienu no say Chief Justice no sebio eba eyedien eba bibia ye frɛ no eyedien ni amoho nsɛm or ni misbehavior omumra omunipa sebio oyɛ de opɛ ɛna yɛka sɛ incompetence udi dwuma ma na ontumi ndi dwuma no sebio nyansa yɛdidi dwuma ɛma yɛhu sɛ wedie yɛde nyansa pɔ ɛna yɛdi dwuma ɛma dwuma egyina ne naso no ɔsɛ yɛka bibi te sɛ incompetence sebio oni saa nyansa kadeɛ na yɛtumi di dwuma ɛma dwuma esipi incompetence and also the stated misbehavior or say or ahomaso ɛne ne su ɛne ne ban bia sebio ɔde ibu mmraso inti nyoma mienu na ogina so e de aka che na Danko Akuffo Addo say on pam Chief Justice no na answer na otalo dinka ka say constitution ma ne ho kwan say de ye ne na no te say Charlotte say time no ye betumi so aye ne ne ya into state ye e article a ogina so e de atro e krata we e de ama na Danko Akuffo Addo e ne ye article 146 of the 1992 constitution into our ho kwan say obetro krata we ama Akuffo Addo. Now point 2 or say the legal basis of my petition is Article 1461 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. For the avoidance of doubt, my petition focuses on stated misbehavior and incompetence related to the Chief Justice's administrative functions as head of the judiciary responsible for its supervision and administration under Article 1254 of the Constitution. Or say, adikudientia or jina so the ojina so edia kache na Danko Akuffo Addo say ompam Chief Justice Madam Tokonuni say Ghana Constitution no baby say oye Chief Justice ana oye nipa sebio constitution no ama ho kwan say di dwuma bi na wendi a constitution so esa ewo emra bi a ekire say wendi odwuma ye se ne etia o se gina sa constitution so esa yi uto akonwa nti eno na ogina so e de aka che Akuffo Addo say ompam osono ma me sorry ompam Madam Tokonu a oye Chief Justice. Also, my petition does not arise from the Chief Justice's exercise of her judicial functions. Accordingly, the petition does not challenge any decisions, orders, or directive issued by the Chief Justice in the performance of her duties as a justice of the Supreme Court, including those made to enforce judgments, decrees, or others in cases she has adjudicated. I fully understand, respect, and value the importance of decisional independence. Or see, Mr. President, krata o chama no sebio emfa asama Chief Justice atena so edi or say ene de emfa ho or say obu Ghana mra obu eye edwuma a omedi no court eye Supreme Court any court aka or say sa ne petition a otwe enye case bi a Chief Justice any Supreme Court judges bi tena so ana say Chief Justice na tena so e na oka ho asem eno de sebio ohuni say eye edwuma wo so di na eye petition a otwe no eye nyoma mienu wodi nka ase ana aka ho asem ene na ogina so intimema Mr. President wa adwene nya wo say eye atenkuruwa ana say eye judgment bi a Chief Justice ajaje wa asem bi so ankoye ana say bi a webu asem bi asebio na eni ne kwan so say enye anu nti ena o chiro say yenyi Chief Justice emfree eye de ne position as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Okon enim no say and point 4 or say it is my understanding that upon the receipt of this petition, Your Excellency shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices, Supreme Court, one of whom shall appoint as chairman, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. See Article 146 of the Constitution. Also, petition Mr. President, sa petition we become on sa de also we because Ghana mra no ekire say the petition say beto nsema ye wo mra bi a wo say wudi so sebio eye article de 1466 ene na kire de wo say we into onsaka eye petition we no mra no eda ho into di mra no so na ye nhwe sene asem we no ebeko na all can say mra no say so onsaka petition one de also we no say first of all e wo say we den ofa eye judge for mienu a sebio omo Supreme Court isi a obete committee ana eye nipakuo bi a omo no mbehwehwe asem we mu no na constitution no kire e wo article 46:6 say e wo say ofa eye 2 Supreme Court judges e wo sa committee no so no now ena o say 2 justices 2 2 Supreme Court justices includes those made to enforce judgment, decrees or orders in case. No, let me go here. 2 Supreme Court judges, one whom you shall appoint as a chairman. Or say, Mr. President, Imbraniche say, or say, Supreme Court, Obeti Committee, Momasha Semwima, also he judges many free Supreme Court, or Sabako and a chairman of Edian, Sa Committee, no, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State. It also Council of State in the one, so Imbraniche say, Council of State in Article 146, nature say, and this we nipa bia every Council of State, or say, Ukoi nipa. Bear me and free abontinia omuni Council of State in Mukra into 2 judges from the Supreme Court, Bako and also a chairman of the committee, and I also Osako for nipa miensa omon Council of State for one home, and I also a yadiang omonka nipa ukofa nipa miensa beka ho a sa nipa na ni se omoka parliament ho eni se sebio omoye lawyers eni se sebio omoye Council of State members e o say o nipa bi omoye independent. They are not supposed to be Council of State members. They are not supposed to be lawyers. They are not supposed to be they are not supposed to be members of parliament. You just have to take 2 Supreme Court judges, make one the chairman, and go out there and pick 2 or 3 people who are independent minded to be part of that committee to sit on the Chief Justice Assembly. So, now, it is my further understanding that the committee shall inquire into the petition and recommend to you whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office on the grounds maintained in this petition. I affirm my understanding that all proceedings herein shall be held in camera, and the Chief Justice is entitled to be heard in her defense by herself or by a lawyer or other expert of her choice. Or say, ebe kono say sani ye ko enim no e wo say e de asem we no u make sure say ubetumi e de eye petition we ebema committee no committee na ebeye 2 judges from the Supreme Court, baako be chairman na nipa be miensa omu free abontina omu free parliament emfree omu nya lawyers omu nya state Council of State members sa nipa be na ya na enum no e wo so the petition we e de ma omu no see Mr. President ebe fe say asem we no ye be nyina ye be hwe no TV so na Ghana ni bia ehun say ye nka asem entu Chief Justice so intinka ebe ye say nka Mr. President say asem ne mu beda ho kroje ne de anka Chief Justice na nka sa obe pene a o say nka asem we ye nyina ye tena camera mu na Ghana fo nyina hwe bi na ye toto na no na ye hu say eye petition we engina so wo mu anasa engina so nim ni ndwedwemu no e na o kirechire mu no na okọ point 6. It is therefore my understanding that Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, shall act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee. That is C Article 1469 to 1466 to 9. Or say, Mr. President, says our petition we no sebio ube make sure say eya committee no ene wankasa mwedi mraso because Ghana mrano emra dawa sebio ehye wo president ene sa committee ni say omo be ye den omo be di asem wechi emiako edi asem no krojin sene etie. Now afei na obekire the background the original so e dey across our petition we the original so ensema original so nti o say Chief Justice Madam Tokunu enise oye Chief Justice of Ghana eno na yesi amebeki dwem akireo nti obi say papa ya letter come Akuffo Addo say ompam Chief Justice edien pa na Chief Justice aye edien ngina so na ogina so aka kire Akuffo Addo say onti committee na yempam eye Chief Justice because we dia bro waye nyome bia sebio ye constitution ana say emra ebo Ghana ho ban esabo eye judiciary no ban no we tietia so ana say we mu mra no. Now, I feel over the original so the actual petition we and a friend of background. Now, background. Also, request for the appointment of 5 justices of appeal to the Supreme Court. Or say, Adebakwa Chief Justice here na etiamra e was a jina so ede pamono e mani ko tenefima sebio ni pebi besha na nine say eye Madam Tokonu a oye Chief Justice of Ghana oye say onu ankasa de ne pe ebe appointi eye judge fo num bra eye Ghana mrano etia into o see engina so no baako edi nkan ne say eye Madam Tokonu oye Chief Justice no o de onu ane pe appointee na person appointee judge for num eko Supreme Court Now in by a letter dated 30th May 2024, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana formally wrote to Your Excellency, specifically requesting the appointment of the following 5 judges of the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court of Ghana. Or say a 30th May. A May da a 30th May 2024 afiwe mu no. A Madam Toko no tro letter bre wo na na Danko Akuffo Addo. And that letter na tro bre wo no or the judge for enum a omo ye appeals court judges for enum e the bre wo say sankofo no make sure say obema sankofo no abewura Supreme Court. Na judge for enum a Madam Tokonu petition and asemo kan no eye kweku aza asemo kan say eye 30th May this year no Madam Tokonu share actual secret letter to come Akuffo Addo say oh judge for numu we die ye fast the for Bobra Supreme Court etiamra article 146 to 9 no 1466 to 9 no etia or say sa judge for na ya no mo ye appeals court judges yi omunie 81 petitioner and I say kweku aza and Mr. kweku aza no wa kire wabo date into a very important date room. Now, judge for 9 and appeals court judge nominee. His Lordship Justice Edward Amoako Asante JA. Her Ladyship Justice Angelina Mensah Homia. His Lordship Justice Eric Balfour. Her Ladyship Justice Syria Pamela CA Kranting JA. Her Ladyship Justice Efia Asaribotwe JA. Also, sa judge for a numwe secretly. Madam Tokonu extra letter come Akuffo Addo say on make sure say obe present your mama parliament me de omode abahin Supreme Court Ghana mrano eyade tia Chief Justice enkoshe kukuo mu ntro letter nkoma president say president nipa numwe for mobra Supreme Court no into say we bi ni nyoma ogina so now time a Chief Justice extra sa akrata koma President Akuffo Addo say onfa koti kwan bi so na onfa sa judge for enum wei embra Supreme Court emano ono anadwene mu no ochrochro note bi to so nyoma bi a ochro ka ho a e kire se e wo se Akuffo Addo ema sa judge for wei kwan se bi ono na pese omoba Supreme Court. Commenter Chief Justice Etrotrofa judge for bi e wo sa letter num ni regarding His Lordship Edward Amoako Asante judge ba kwa na efre no Edward Amoako Asante no Chief Justice Toko no letter ne say no trofa no ho o say Justice Asante's term of office at the ECOWAS court ended on 31st July 2022. He was requested to remain at post on account of the withdrawal of Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso from the community. His current tenure is expected to end in 2026 or earlier when he is expected to return to Ghana's judiciary. Now, later no, Chief Justice Echorosatron Semi say, His Lordship has provided. The letter goes on to say that, Osatro say, His Lordship has provided excellent leadership as president of the ECOWAS court and will undoubtedly be an invaluable asset on the Supreme Court of Ghana. Chief Justice Charles Sakratano secret letter come Akuffo Addo say judge your friend no Edward Amoako Asante no adekudientia ono Chief Justice instruct ono Akuffo Addo come tiabom say emfa Supreme Court say sa judge no owo ECOWAS court na Madam Toko say oh sa judge ne de miamini pa no wa ya de say wa bono ho modern say mini pa say oba na oba Ghana Supreme Court oba be di dwuma aboaye ene na wo letter nim into say sanyoma we Chief Justice Troye e wo letter nim no e na kire say Chief Justice na boapayo ni da ho and all selected the Black Star players through the president to come to the Supreme Court. I say regarding His Lordship Justice Eric Balfour and their Ladyship Angelina Mensah Homia, Syria Pamela Kranting, and Ifua Saribotwe. However, Her Ladyship the Chief Justice wrote that day. I say judges for an Canadian Mukai Judge Balfour. Judge Balfour no catch me say or the warrant to me so forever and ever. Mukai or then friend Judge Balfour. Yɛne kɔ appeals court ɔno na ɔka ho a Chief Justice say by force ɔpɛ sɛ ɔfa kuti kwan so ɛde ne kɔ Supreme Court nti Judge Balfour na ɔka ɛyɛ judge for enum no ho first one de na ɔyɛ ECOWAS court judge ɔka no ho asɛm kyerɛ the reason tie Akuffo Addo fa ne mbra Supreme Court now for na aka no letter na ɛyɛ Madam Tokonu secretly ɛkyerɛ kɔma Akuffo Addo no this is what she said about the 4 judges left or say All these 4 judges, and I quote, are currently working as judges of the Court of Appeal. Their work has been distinguished by outstanding services, courage, and competence. End of quote. The grave nature of the Chief Justice's role in requesting the appointment of the said justices to the Supreme Court became evident when subsequently social media published another letter dated 7 February 2024 from the Chief Justice to Your Excellency. Inti Judge 44 now can the Chief Justice letter no such from Akuffo Addo say, oh, we die. Wa wunim yankofo oma bom ho modin ye inti hwem Justice Cheba for on the warrant to Kevin Taylor so no inti sankofo no maka no make sure so mu nyina letter we no mu din hwem inti a protocol list and a Chief Justice Kotonu a also oye de oye neutral no okuta ni protocol list or dey come Akuffo Addo say for Mobra Supreme Court. Mr. P. Yeah, okay, so that's the letter, right? Okay, my team this for letter before we move forward. This is the letter now. The petitioner is talking about in the petition. My letter na yen twaso send beya obi abehu asema ye ka no enye atro na ye di ediato Chief Justice Tokonu so. So this is the letter. Letter when Chief Justice etro koma Akuffo Addo a petitioner Kweku Asare chechiri mu achi Akuffo Addo say we etiamra. Into your letter now, His Excellency Nana Addo Akuffo Addo, Osha top one, Honorable Chief Justice, date show 30th May 2024. Meaning the petitioner Kweku Asare no, wa both date no letter no say Chief Justice Madam Tokonu sad no. Since letter we ba abonten, Madam Tokonu ba abonten kaka say enyo no the secret letter we are or the protocol list come Akuffo Addo say omo Mumra Supreme Court. This is the letter. Osha, His Excellency Nana Addo Akuffo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, blah 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 blah. Your Excellency, proposal for appointment of 5 judges to the Supreme Court. Chief Justice natural letter we come Akuffo Addo. It was intercepted. It was published on the social media. The basis in tia or Chief Justice na or the protocol list they call akope ni pebe obetuma adwuma bia ma no e Supreme Court e na ye che no. You can see the Chief Justice, the protocol list in the secret letter he wrote to Eddie Nana Addo Akuffo Addo. I write to respectfully request that the following judges be appointed to the Supreme Court. This was a request. The Chief Justice, Ekacha President said, Momumbra Supreme Court. This is dangerous. You have a protocol list in the Supreme Court and to become a Supreme Court judge. But the Chief Justice, Madam Tokonu, did that. And it's in a petition and now watch your letter come Akuffo Addo say I was some many a pamano because when you do this you have committed a crime. And the Constitution states this clearly. Article 1466 to 9. No, it is clearly say you cannot use that your position to influence positions to the Supreme Court. Clearly, no, our reason and basis in tia what your letter come Akuffo Addo say pam Madam Tokonu letter nini, that's the evidence. Now mommy anko back to the petition. Send a Ghana for ebe to me who said the ekoso eni. Now petition uko wedima. Or see, even on the 7th of February 2024, 7th February 2024, is captioned brief on the need for the minimum number of 20 judges on Ghana's Supreme Court bench. In the said letter, the Chief Justice stated that almost say 7th February 2024, the Chief Justice Madam Tokonu sat another letter. A letter of such a Akuffo Addo no or stating reasons in tia and what say or no and making sure say judges almost Supreme Court no you move on 20. It's the reason tia now here ne protocol list say Akuffo Addo mu nyina beba ne say na ono no opese o move Ghana Supreme Court judges no etu the 20 opese o mu ye 20 America kakrakei ye Supreme Court judges ye 9. And so Madam Tokonu any Akuffo Addo atro mo letter Emma omo ye plan say e wo say ye den ye move ye Supreme Court no judges no numbers no echo 20 now tie letter na Madam Tokonu tro come Akuffo Addo no on the 7th of February 2024 no. Mr. S. Okay, so letter so me team ne dia I will show you that letter on February 7th. I will tro come Akuffo Addo no. I will show you the letter before I read. Letter ni. Thank you Mr. P. Thank you Mr. S. Thank you for bringing in this letter. Now, me team is having letter. This is the letter of Toronto on the 7th of February. Or Saka Akuffo Addo. First letter the 30th May. or catch 2022 no odin kan catch Akuffo Addo say on for 5 judges we mra and 2024 7th February no or some reasons in dia e was say opese o move judges no to 20. Now this is the letter or Troy on the 7th of February 2024. Na or insist say opese o movie judges no ko 20 we ye Madam Tokonu ne terminal report na me read actually no. Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, 7th February 2024. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Office of the President, Jubilee House. It will share letter now, Madam Tokonu Akuffo Addo brief on the need for a minimum number of 20 judges on Ghana's Supreme Court bench. Into Ocho Akuffo Addo say after all the protocol list of 5 commanders on former Supreme Court no appeals court judges no or Saba 2024 be man reasons in tra or person or sa expand judges almost Supreme Court to 20. Now this is the letter. I'll say respectfully, I write in reference to our previous discussion on the Chief Justice's proposal for an increase in the number of justices of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Kindly find attached a paper justifying the need for the request. Thank you very much. Madam Tokonu Nidine Shasiano, and the Chief Justice Nankasa Akuffo Addo say, the reason there's a need for a Ghana judges now Supreme Court no or no after bringing 5 protocol lists no from appeals court no or sa insist say or say my judges no could do 20. Yanko enim yanko kind petition in the womb. Into petitioner no. He was telling you evidence enye bosremuka or show evidence any embra Chief Justice Tokonu ebuso. Now, no point 13. Or say the above quotation suggests that there has been a previous discussion on the subject between Chief Justice and the President. It is already letana quotation or any caption say Chief Justice Akuffo Addo didn't plan. Now they wanted to make it official. Into petition say so already letter here only say President Akuffo Addo name Madam Tokonu trase and omo planning say the protocol list of 5 Madam Tokonu de bebrelo now we pass omo de omo Supreme Court owia now we sa de krata ba injina so a opese obie judges mu more ye 20 Supreme Court until they had planned it. And a petition say so already documentations na following nyina say Akuffo Addo ne Madam Tokonu no omo trans no omo plan say the protocol list be Supreme Court omo wi no say be judges to 20. Now petition and call him say point 14 of concern to your petitioner is the fact that both letters, one proposing an increase in the minimum number of justices on the Supreme Court of Ghana and other requesting 5 specific judges to be appointed to the Supreme Court, were written on the letterhead of the Chief Justice and clearly expressed itself as the Chief Justice's personal request on the matter. The letter did not refer to any consultation or involvement of the Judicial Council, of which the Chief Justice is a member and within whose constitutional mandate it lies to deal with matters relating to the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court. Or see, petitioner say, Osha letter Mirina Chief Justice Echokoma and another Akuffo Addo. Let me put it on the screen. Senebeya Obetiasie. Osha these 2 letters are Madam Tokonu Echokoma and another Akuffo Addo now. You can see clearly say the letters were coming from the office of the Chief Justice. Now, the money who say you be for the Judicial Council. Judicial Council no embrasha omo say ye pese ye appoint a judge phobia at the Supreme Court. E was say Judicial Council no netrase. Na omo ye pensempensemu ehwe mu mra edwindwene ho etiase say we die a good decision and I say a good decision. Judge we qualify and so qualify. Petition and natural petition no kweku azaka che Akuffo Addo say. Uje 2 letters na Madam Tokonu Chobra first one say Sebio or the 5 protocol list or Nwankasa hand-picked judges. And the second one or Troya or say the reason why into a person obey judges now was Supreme Court to 20 no. Usha letter ni mienua letter head if you on Nwankasa office. There is nowhere in the letter as cited say she consulted the General Legal Counsel. And I say she consulted what we call where's the name? The Judicial Council. There's nothing on this letter, sir. Say the Chief Justice consulted the Judicial Council. It means to say that decision was solely taken by the Chief Justice herself, which is against Imra. So the Chief Justice is now Mugabe. The Chief Justice is now an authoritarian. The Chief Justice is now running the Supreme Court or the judicial service and the judicial system as her own property, because she's sending letters to the Jubilee House with her letterhead, and in the letter she did not state anywhere that she had consulted the Judicial Council on this matter. So clearly the Chief Justice has breached the law. She is basically being an autocratic leader. She is misbehaving. That's amount to misbehavior, and it's countermount to the sacking of the Chief Justice. This is the petitioner's reason. Until Sinanado Danko Akuffo Addo or say Opam Madam Tokonu, and he's not just stating the things. He's using facts. He's using articles. He's using the Constitution and making the president understand to say Emrana Bogana Homane say or say Chief Justice take steps way. So when taking steps way, and nobody is supposed to allow her to be as to be there as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Now, Yanko point 15. Point 15 in the petition. Team, are we good? Thank you, team. Thank you. Sir, we do live production. When I need something, the team will pull it. So that's how it works. Now, when you go to point 15 in the petitioner page 3 out of 19, point 15 say your petitioner is further concerned by the reference to an earlier discussion between the Chief Justice and Your Excellency the President on the proposal to increase the number of justices on the Supreme Court. Your petitioner also notes that the question of minimum number of justices on the Supreme Court is settled by Article 1281 of the Constitution, which provides that the Supreme Court, and I quote, the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court, end of quote. Or C, petitioner say say Nanado Danko Akuffo Addo wunim se emrada ho say your Supreme Court nanka say de o say Chief Justice any 9 judges o kan homa ne 10 and na wo say omo ho at the same time inti day na Chief Justice Madam Tokonu a onum Ghana mra nyina no etumi tro letter bra o ka kire o say o pese o expand Adia Constitution essay ketting. These are entrenched laws. Constitution essay say I was say a Supreme Court no at every given time or say judges 10 or Chief Justice plus 9 judges. Now you, the president, who is a lawyer, a so-called lawyer, who knows the law, so Chief Justice actual letter say Edia bro catcher say even though she knows the Constitution states this emphatically that you cannot exceed 10. No, why did you at the end of the day not raise any concern into the petitioner now or letter come for say Esokino the president does not respect the Constitution and the Chief Justice does not respect the Constitution because it has been stated in the Constitution. So Article 1281 say or say at a given time no you have 10 judges at the Supreme Court, Chief Justice plus 9. Inter a Chief Justice to letter bro president to say Mr. President me person me 20. It means somebody is taking advantage of the Constitution. Somebody is abusing their office. It's either you, the president, or the Chief Justice. Now the Chief Justice has to go because the petition is directed at the Chief Justice. Now let's go to point 16. Ghana for Obiati. This is how it's going to be done from today. Sani ebeno yede no kure na bebo Ghana ho ban se ne be ya obi ntumi nko twist nsembia enkoka nsembia ntu obiaso. 2016. The plain meaning of Article 1281 is that the minimum number of justices for the Supreme Court is 10. Thus, an amendment of the Constitution is the lawful way to change the minimum, not by a private discussion or communication between the Chief Justice and the President. It is Parliament that has the power to amend the Constitution, Article 289 of the 1992 Constitution. In the petition, I catch Mr. Akuffo Addo. Ghana Mrana Chre says, "Sa part of the Constitution, Article 1281 of the Constitution, I say, it was say at any time we be yet Supreme Court, no judges all include the Chief Justice yet 10 no. It is only amendment. Yakas amendment. Sa part of the Constitution 128.1 no. It was say, yes sacrum yadi and saka any of an amendment. Yes sasha ni bium say bet dana ne kakra. So far, amendment be ambaye. And at the end of the day, says some run the Sabeka, aka say, judges 10 or more Supreme Court, or say the 20 year, or see this a year, Mrano Ekodu Parliament, not Parliament, a deliberate near to Swaba, and Sunny Ajatum say, you per se, you expanded the number of judges at the Supreme Court. But Social Lieutenant Chief Justice Akuffo Addo, it is looking like they have ignored the procedure and process, and it is beginning to look like a personal vendetta, a personal agenda. A Chief Justice Akuffo Addo are conniving behind the scenes to slaughter the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Into the petition, I say what he is seeing, and he say, you, the President and the Chief Justice, you have connived, because from the correspondence, from the letter, no, the Chief Justice is basically flouting the laws. She's going against the Constitution of the Republic. Chief Justice now or the Supreme Court are all interpreting Constitution. She is basically doing what? Fucking the Constitution. She is basically murdering the Constitution. Or Danny who say I am interpreting it. Or Danny who say then she is murdering it. And then a petitioner, Asareka say, Nana Danko Akuffo Addo, what we are seeing, it is looking like Chief Justice or no Alpha Ghana judiciary say more personal property. Now, point 17. Further, your petitioner has reliable information that a meeting of the Judicial Council held on 14 June 2024, the Chief Justice expressed her desire to increase the number of Supreme Court justices, whereupon the council advised her ladyship to pursue broader consultation with other institutions on the matter, especially the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Or say, Mr. President, petitioner says, Mr. President, the Chief Justice at a meeting a course between the Chief Justice and the Judicial Council on the 14th of June 2024 was stated amount date. Chief Justice echo meeting as no crazy say, oh, me perceive me increase the number of people on the Supreme Court bench. And the Judicial Council focus the Chief Justice. Sa same way, and yet easy sa because constitutional a barrier ejina so. Intin kebeya and Chief Justice. Ye ending kan en consult Ghana for nyina. Yen consult Parliament. Ni any Parliament intina se pense mu. Send ye beya ye betime to sa na more way and so Chief Justice entie. I'll see meeting also on the 14th of June 2024. Meaning at that meeting, the Judicial Council told her that if she solely take that decision, it is against the law. So she knew that the intent was to commit a crime. From what the petitioner is saying, Chief Justice had an advice from the Judicial Council telling her that do not even think about it. But the Chief Justice, upon all the advice she was given, in this point, we will say the legal advisors of the Chief Justice was the Judicial Council, but she ignored their legal advice and decided to take her own decision. And no enema who said she flouted the law and became an autocrat and decided to subdue the Constitution to benefit herself by selecting 5 individuals she thinks are her boys and girls that can work with her. And also, her herself decided to expand the number of judges on the Supreme Court bench. It is dangerous. It means the Chief Justice has stabbed the Constitution in the heart. And as a person, personally, she wants to run the Supreme Court like her own business. On the 14th of June, Judicial Council for catch and say, hey, idea we dangerous. We need broader consultation. And even after the broader consultation, I will say you call Parliament, any Parliament, and some person will be President. But Chief Justice told them they should go fuck themselves. She knows what she's doing. And it's another petition and say let us a sound to say when the president and the Chief Justice modin komo we chire and a more plan. Petition point 18. Point 18. The petitioner the Ochema the Kudientia was a Chief Justice ya Pamano Enie. Mr. S, what again? Which one is this? Okay, so me team is a member a constitution in Chiramo. Article na the petitioner the Supreme Court, how many judges is supposed to have at a given time. We need to make sure the facts are stated on the show. Now, so Ghana chapter 11, the judiciary, this is what it says about the number of judges are also at the Supreme Court. And so the petitioner has a case. Now 128(1) na petitioner estate the petition or say constitution say the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. In the Constitution, it makes it clear, and Chief Justice Kotonu, who is supposed to interpret the Constitution, knows this. Even at a meeting where the Judicial Council advised her that do not do this without broader consultation and also consulting Parliament, she still flouted the law, went against the law, and decided to go behind the scenes to work this thing out with Akuffo Addo to bring their shortlisted judges to the Supreme Court. The petitioner is telling you, say, Emra ewoho a Chief Justice abokro no enie inti yengina so ne pamono. Let's go back to the Constitution. Thank you very much, team. Now let's go back to the Constitution. Hey, let's go back to the petition. Petition point 18, page 3 out of 19. Hey, I remember Debbie. At the said council meeting, the Chief Justice did not disclose the fact that her desire to increase the number of Supreme Court judges had been the subject of a previous discussion and communication with His Excellency. This fact became evident only after a letter dated 7 February 2024 from the Chief Justice to Your Excellency appeared on social media. It follows from these facts that the council had no knowledge of her involvement in the attempt to increase the minimum number of justices beyond the constitutional specified number. The petitioner say, even meeting the course na Judicial Council for nimu say time na muti meeting na say kasa asem na Chief Justice Krampo din catch letter come president until say letter no Krampo ba abontene. It Chief Justice no otutu anoma e na de ko kire Judicial Council for say otutu anoma no wie na say anoma ba enie na oyo mo krokro de John Abraham ka also consult your first no we didn't get taking the decision awie ansa na obetutu anoma ho achom say oh anoma we bola bed na say antrohwe because she had already connived with the president behind the scenes. Because I will check the date of the letters now those days which clearly say the Chief Justice had already written to the president before even meeting the Judicial Council in June 14 2024, meaning on February 2nd now or church and a letter no any a year the previous one in 2022 no that means that before we got to June no not Chief Justice didn't catch your letter come Akuffo Addo and send otutu anoma who catch Judicial Council say oh me person can me expanded the judges. Chief Justice had already broken the law. She's already broken the law. We boom ran so that and what Oba make sure say Judicial Council at the end of the day will be part of the law she has broken, because you see she needed an accomplice. The Chief Justice knew, because I know she knows the law. That is why she's at the Supreme Court. She needed an accomplice to help her in law and also in investigation. FBB alibi. The Chief Justice needed an alibi. She needed somebody that their words will sync with her word to protect her later when she's caught. So she used the Judicial Council as an alibi. Senebeya same way back. Chief Justice Becker said, oh, I was at the meeting, so I already told them. But the letters and the date on the letters actually exposed the Chief Justice. Said she actually took that decision before meeting the Judicial Council. So she had already committed a crime, but it was an afterthought that okay, my committed crime maybe. Let me now implicate the Judicial Council. Senebeya, I cannot be sidelined or isolated and punished. So that meeting, she went and basically threw in that suggestion. She had already taken a decision, and the evidence is in the letter. Now, page 19. The Article 128 clearly states the Chief Justice must go, and this is the petition to the read. Number 20. The Constitution requires the President to act on the advice of the Council in consultation with the Council of State when nominating Supreme Court judges for parliamentary approval. The Chief Justice's elaborate scheme of requesting the President to appoint specific judges and later presenting these names for the Council approval subverts the constitutional scheme and converts both the Council and the President into rubber stamping her preferred judges. As it turned out, the scheme was fortuitously undone by the council's concern about the timing of the nomination. Now, when the petition is being considered at any stage, members of the Judicial Council will be subpoenaed to testify on the matter. Petitioner say say be judges fofra and I say be judges ako Supreme Court. The constitution requires the president to act on the advice of the council. I was a president in every council of state cause me person the judges for be den eko Supreme Court na mo na mo council of state mombra na mo ne me fa ho adwene nipa num mo saying mo adwene mo saying ansa na owia na saa eye den saa eye nominees na Supreme President be or the parliament or the parliament na parliament for also avert or vert we are answer approve and send a job to some Supreme Court. But this is the case whereby the Chief Justice at the end of the day she basically decided to put together a plan that will cut out this process. A plan that will be between just her and the president, because she just wanted the president to say yes and then they'll move the people to the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice is supposed to follow the due process, because when you take out due process, everything becomes corrupt. That is why due process, normally when you are doing things and you take out due process, whatever you do, that process becomes corrupt, because the due process will do what? Will refine the journey, will refine whatever you are trying to get. In this opposite, you go that. So bobo bana or sabobana or the process and son could do baby a friend way gold. You just pick a rock, it's an ore. There's nothing in there but to say way you need to grind bobano or crash bobana. Now the coffee machine, na machine na nyam no mana coffee to say powder. O we are no shanke. O shanke na twaso we are and sana beda nsuo. Na wo sade agu nsuo no wo say chimu and sana the murder tum wo the murder tum and sana you gold na pie. It is a we ignore that process na. Say gold no worth $2 million I to worth 20 Ghana, because the due process, when you skip the process, that thing does not become valuable, and that is what the Chief Justice did. She cut out the due process to benefit herself and also the president. Inti anena petition no e kan to say Sir Chief Master President mo pese Ghana fo nyina hu no kura wo ma e wo se omo wari he Judicial Council no e wo se ye petition omo na se ye supina omo e wo se court show omo no omo ba committee de nimbegitum Sir Chief Justice yes sa na se wanya sa. I think the petitioner is trying to also give the Chief Justice some room to basically clear herself. Say Judicial Council for no subpoena omo na omo ba court na omo be ditra ye nyina nim say we ditra under a subpoena, you know what will happen. Mr. Petitioner, Mr. President, so Chief Justice say asaba ye keke nyina eboa ye betima subpoena Judicial Council say letter we about the meet you omo ye na da and correspondence lecture saying or say he's open. The Chief Justice Madam Tokonu or say oba na obechech nsemu. Point 21. See, obviously Kevin does galamsey because of the way he's breaking it down. Say if you galamsey boy. Point 21 said the Chief Justice's request for the appointment of the aforementioned judges to the Supreme Court was done in brazen violation of the constitutional rules for the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court, amounted to abuse of her office, and was done without fair and or reasonable criteria. Into say 21 the Chief Justice I didn't say Makachi in Chester Chief Justice was abusing office. Adio ye need the whole would bone into eno no chere se or say a pamona na yi to akunwa. Point 22 the Chief Justice request for the appointment of the point 23 petitioner throw bibi point 23 or say the Chief Justice, as the head of the judiciary, must understand that she has no direct role in recommending individuals for appointment or promotion to the Supreme Court. If the Chief Justice makes recommendations for the promotion or appointment to the Supreme Court, it strongly indicates either a shocking lack of understanding or utter disregard for the constitutional process and established promotion procedures. Further, the Chief Justice ought to know that she cannot have a side deal with the president to raise the minimum number of judicial or justices to the Supreme Court, sidestepping the minimum that is specified by the Constitution. Petitioner said, Mr. President, the Chief Justice, say, or take a decision. No, no one can recommend any pa. No, the Bravo president said, Mr. President, Akuffo Addo Supreme Court. Etiam Rado Kondo. In fact, sir, Emrana Chief Justice FR so all recommended Nipa Edia Bro, so be promote omo, so be the Supreme Court, so be momo eye di Brebia no, Ghana Mrano che especially say Chief Justice any president kasa say or person or expanding the number of judges omote Supreme Court bench in this one abra when use due process now it means say the Chief Justice herself no neni daho and we bugana mraso because it's stated in the Constitution say you cannot do that. Article 128(1) clearly states it. Say you cannot by yourself behind the scenes with the president promote or nominate people without using due process. Into petition and say sign your way says a Chief Justice not to mra we boom mraso. Say Ghana your maya your person mra ye juma or some madam tokonu your pamono. Now ukwa your friend B arbitrary reconstitution of panels and transfer of judges. Because you say on my point o gina so Ediaka the Chief Justice and yen to akumya. First one I kind of and your friend request for appointment of 5 justices of the appeals court to the Supreme Court. And who in 7 wakano reason dia bakono no. Now waba another reason tia also a pam madam tokonu and so reason here arbitrary reconstitution of panels and transfer of justices. Or say Chief Justice then to me at the judge phobi or nankasa de trim onim raso na wasesa judge phobi egu panel bi so watikuo bi na nankasa mom di dwuma bi or say eno so ka hunte or say madam tokonu ye yi ne to akonwa na mom yan kan de wa ase 24. There have been reported incidents of Chief Justice's direct interference with duly constituted panels with no explanation or public interest reasons for so doing. We consider the reconstitution of panels to be beyond the Chief Justice's administrative power and amount to direct interference with the impartiality and independence of duly constituted judicial panels. Almost say petition say you may be so close to Supreme Court. Chief Justice to be change judges anyhow. Sebio or you're the Chief Justice. Now you to me the nipa miensa kotena appeals court case bi so. Ade to me channel pa no asesa omo without even going through the process. I was here. Chief Justice ade bibia hye den sa. Obi to me kotena case so ade achi aye kotena case so endo ahomache for ne afriend say on free case so ebi wo kwa 2 minute phone calls e ka chom say case no menko ho o chena obi abehya wanan o say saa nyom ne nyina kire say Chief Justice no or abuse in the office and the evidence are there. Now, Uko 25, the Chief Justice's constitutional and or legal authority to constitute and reconstitute panels for the hearing of cases must be guided by the constitutional and common law principles which regulates the exercise of such power. And so is the power to transfer judges and other officials of the services. In the Chief Justice, even though ordinary Chief Justice or Supreme Court or Ghana, I was say odim rabiso say about transfer of judges and I say the judge phobia assembly so or so free so and I nipa bi so mutena case judge phobia so mutena appeals court case bi so I was say odim raso say oya Chief Justice then kire say obetuma tenefie atamfo na free judge or phone so say case we free so no, it does not work like that. It has to go through a process. But Chief Justice no consistently no omo will say sa nyoma no onye otumi body sirem no agasa asimesi free case we so we nkodo obu a odware no pa odum say case on net so ondu court we say o Chief Justice afre say we dey untumi tena case no obi mbra and their evidence or the aka the petition no approve say e was madam tokonu ya pamono. Now, when you go to point 26, the fundamental inability to distinguish between the exercise of her administrative power and interference with the panel's judicial work confirms her incompetence, quite apart from the dangers that it poses to the integrity and independence of the judiciary. Inability to understand or perform the duties of an office inadequately constitutes incompetence. Inti osi adikudientia okache president to say the two things are original say and from Chief Justice are back where incompetence and say so but I had a lapses in her work, how she is not able to make sure say due process is followed and also how to make sure say administratively conducting the judicial affairs in our courts the inconsistencies and the unprofessional attitude of her it amount to incompetence ama workflow and judicial service ejuma nanka say ekoso and sisi na so into when say Chief Justice Madam Tokonu is incompetent sebio oni sa nyansa ho kana obetumi edi Ghana Supreme Court enim e dey make sure say e Supreme Court any court e hihye na sin nyina no omo die adwuma amana dey esi totin into ogina sade o chaka Mr. President say upon nyoma we state no sa nyoma we nyina chere Chief Justice Madam Toko no incompetent dwuma dia odi no wabe selfish wabe arrogant wabe somebody who has become an autocrat in a democratic dispensation. And the petitioner said, no, Mr. President, Sama way petition way just I was say pamono. I was say yin to akunya. Point 28. The Constitution. Now, point 27. It is my contention that reconstitution of judicial panel is the ultimate way to interfere with or control the impartiality and independence of a panel's judicial work, guaranteed by Article 1272 and 1913 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992 Constitution. Petitioner, Mr. President, only the Ghana branch and PFA say Chief Justice started in Sakika judge for any judge for the case so reshuffle more move more without going through due process. The say it might be a friend of crow ana crojin ana fair trial. Said the dear some soko pepe so na obiade na koma pakofie no or say the moment I obenya Chief Justice or done than the judges or turn them ekasa we nkwa ha no ema asema sebe woni se e wo say no kure na ntumi if you say ade bechi me akodi asem na yenim say judge we na atena asem we so 6 years and 6 months and 2 years na ade bechi me be court na ade chien na judgment beba na e ka say assistant judge we ye judge we abeto so na it means say judge foforo na ye de ba no na e bia ya man agenda bi say ombeye because the judge na otena case ni so for all these years or months no so no na etie case ni na adenti na sa judge no entumi enye den incomplete case no. A typical example is the Hunyuniga case. Opuni a case no at a point they delay the case to make sure say Hunyuga will get to a retirement. Send a beya move to me another judge who will be dancing to the song of the Jubilee House. And there are so many cases Asia at a point Edru say a judgment tibeduno near you judge nefrio. Obusa the Chief Justice she does not give any reason because there are some people who think say they can run the Ghana judiciary the way they want. But petitioner say society sia Emma pepe yo any impartiality any say the idea some crojeno and maso if you say a basada na in semina wo court na say nipa bi and a sebio omo edino amana eden akọ omo side no who is a Chief Justice attitude no saa nyoma na edeba enu ntina ogina so say yempam Madam Toko no. It's basically abuse of power. Now point 28. The Constitution is clear that no person, including the President, Parliament and the Chief Justice shall interfere with judges or judicial officers or other persons exercising judicial power in the exercise of their judicial functions. That is in Article 1272. Thus, the reconstitution under the guise of exercising administrative power is a glaring abuse of her office and a fundamental misunderstanding of the boundaries of the Chief Justice's administrative authority. The abuse of her administrative power to interfere with panel's judicial functions meets the threshold of stated misbehavior. Inti enena obon the top say the Chief Justice say ya order in psychic judges we kwa ha ade be chine be ye be ma final judgment or to free we measure or say sad no at the end of the day what it does is say so kokan Ghana articles no and as a constitution article 1272 no clearly say judge be ana Chief Justice sana what she is basically doing in the say she is not exercising her duties well. What she will use an argument to say what she is doing in the say yeah the juma, but in the process of doing that she's abusing her office. It is say a thin line between magic and miracle. So when you're very clever, you will not understand magic and miracle. Magic for a short period. Miracle is everlasting. But Obia Wejin magic is miracle. That is why Obetumi our abuse office no but Obeka says she's exercising her duties. But in the process, when you look at the detailing, you could see say she is abusing the office and what we call justice. She is not helping justice to to be meted on the people. What she's doing is she's interfering in the people who are supposed to sit on cases, know the merit of the case, and pronounce legitimate judgment. She is interfering in those judgments, taking away justice from the people. The petitioner is saying, say, article in the Ghana's constitution say Chief Justice be yes sir or boom ranoso or near the constitution or tietia, she's abusing her office. Basically, that's what the petitioner is saying. Now, the petitioner Emma instances a man kasa asem and o state the opuni trial and am kan me pona me nhu we Mr. Asare ekache Mr. Akuffo Addo say examples of what Chief Justice Aya actually say or interfere in reconstitution and the panels on cases or see this one of the specific examples opuni case or say the ongoing case involving Mr. Opuni, the Republic versus Stephen Kwabena Opuni, Seydou Agongo Agriculture Ghana Limited, is a glaring example of the Chief Justice's abusing his administrative powers to reconstitute a duly constituted Supreme Court panel that is seized of matter on the judicial side. In this case, Justice Hunyuga, who presided over the matter at the trial level, proceeded on retirement. Now, the trial was reassigned to Justice Kwesi Anochijima, who at that time presided over a division of the High Court in Accra before which the case was placed. The court presided over by Anochijima ruled on April 4, 2023 that the trial should start afresh. That is de novo, considering the need to observe witness demeanor and the fairness concern raised by the defense. This has also been the practice in criminal trials, in contrast to civil trials where the parties had been optioned to adopt the proceedings or start the trial de novo. This common law positions is reiterated in the Republic versus High Court, that is criminal division, ex parte Stephen Kwabena Opuni number, and he put in the motions and all that. Judgment delivered on 24 January 2023. Or see a typical example a Opuni case petitioner say, Mr. President, ubegye say Opuni case Justice Hunuga omu delay case na mane bedru ne retirement date. Justice Hunuga call retirement and a Chief Justice catch a judge for your friend Kwesi Anochijima say onko tena case so sa judge in betina case na so and a Chief Judge catch a judge and say on restart the case from the beginning, from de novo, meaning their witnesses in betina say for over 5 years. Justice study body language, study contradictions, study the inconsistencies in the defense and the criminal the prosecutor, whether their witnesses and all that time Justice Hunyuga echo retirement and Chief Justice Kotonu ekache Justice Jima say ko now go tena case ni so start the case ni from afresh. Remember time na Justice Hunyuga ewo case ni so no na edru baby a ewo so omyeden omuma Opuni bi ni defense na Opuni den ekache Ghana for say this is his case. But side new judge ne ba no case dabi because remember sa case and attorney general no witness na oyedwuma okoko board page no ho court otwatro Justice Hunyuga ka kire sa witness na wa page no ho no say yes I know say you have committed a crime. Remember so court na say usdi nsie na say o ka asema nsie na wudi no kire say eni say wotwatro. In the Opuni case attorney general no witness baako edi tro case nim ema Opuni lawyers ehu atro ema judge gitum say atro and so Hunyuga ka say or the atro ne to or san ko punish nipa no either so be jail no or say that be or twen na owie case ni nyina wa be hese obe jail na. That is against the law. The judge was supposed to take action because the person had sworn not to lie. So in the middle of the case or proceedings you bechi say what atro e was said na the law says say I was a judge take immediate action but Hunyuga anye. Until after all these things Hunyuga say call retirement omde say papa we buy and cause papa we tina case no so anka sa witness from the attorney general no na nka say jail no and so papa na Chief Justice toko no den buy no say yensan ko start case no, meaning the crime that the attorney general's witness committed during the trial that crime will be quashed away. Next means say bonina odi no yabog wonina togu. And no ne sa nyoma na eye the petition ka che Akuffo Addo say. Sa nyoma wei e na kire say Madam Tokonu edwuma all ya ode ne nsa keka judge for move things around no. Nim behavior no it countermount to incompetence, and also she is basically running the Supreme Court or the judicial services like her own property. Now, uko another pointer o make here. Reconstitution of panel for the hearing of Dr. Opuni's appeal. Also, Opuni case no, a drew point to be no, omo ya appeal. Emani kopie Supreme Court mokai. That was the time now. Attorney General Godfrey Damemo almost started say omo ya muskamishes no. Now, I say these are some of the reasons until I was a Chief Justice, Madam Tokonu ya pamono. Now, which one is this? All right. Dr. Opuni's legal team, led by lawyer Samuel Kujo, filed an interlocutory appeal at the Supreme Court on July 7, 2023, arguing that the Court of Appeal erred in its judgment. Several months after the appeal was filed, parties appeared before Supreme Court on January 17, 2024 for a hearing. The court, presided over by Justice Mariama Owusu, along with Justice Yaudakwa Sari, Emmanuel Yoni Kulendi, George Kingsley Kumsin, and Henry A. Kofi, ordered the parties to file written submissions. Now, on May 8th, 2024, the Chief Justice controversially reconstituted the panel hearing Dr. Opuni's appeal, presiding over the new panel, which included Justice Mariama Owusu, Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Yaudakwa Sari, and Ernest Gau. Only 2 of the original 5 justices remained. Lawyer Samuel Kujo objected to the new panel, citing Article 1573 of the Constitution, which stipulates that a judge or panel cannot withdraw from a case after hearing argument until judgment is delivered. Or see, the reason why Chief Justice could say a permanent and say, open the case here. There was an appeal. Judges are now also appeals or ometie and komobabeti appeal of Opuni case, you know. All what happened was at the cham kwatena case no na Chief Justice Madam Tokonu e de onu ankasa ne tumi e judge ne bi se free so we yi ba miense free so anamienu e na ode onu ankasa no judge fo abehiem judge ode on beka ono ba ko ye MPP ni judge e de ko Supreme Court e be hu se na MPP card bearer member gawu. Into see, Sanyoma where Madam Tokonu clearly say she has become a political judge. She is basically abusing her office by sitting behind what we call administrative and duties. But you can see clearly say she is infiltrating, she is touching the process. She is basically abusing her office by bringing in judges. She thinks that when there's an appeal case, you know, it was said judges in the now, some of the judges are not with cases, so they complain. They say, Embrani clearly say, Chief Justice, you cannot take us off the case. Appeal, no, because you can only do that after we have heard the appeal and make judgment. But before that was about to happen, no, Chief Justice Madam Tokonu catch so move free case, so and overnight, no, on one of the judges me and Sabeshemu and no kahu and clearly the Chief Justice. Embrano clearly states say Article 153 say the Chief Justice Constitution say so yes sir why abuse Embrano why they was say you to akonya if you say unya nipa ubumra it petition and say when na original so aka check Akuffo Addo say mami we also pamono because the Constitution states it clearly and the facts are there for everyone to see. So at this point petition and Mr. President mami we she is not supposed to be the Chief Justice from tomorrow. Now, when you go further, there is another case or site or catch or the petition, the Ablakwa case. Or see the Chief Justice SI misconducting or the Ablakwa case. Then see then Tokonu ye then Emma petitioner Mr. Asari. Ejina so aka Madam Tokonu is not fit and that the Akuffo Addo should fire him. Sorry, fire her. The Ablakwa case, sorry. The Ablakwa case. On the 25th June 2024, lawyers for the Honorable Member of Parliament for North Tongu objected to a reconstituted panel of the Court of Appeal. They contended that, to the best of their knowledge, the panel to which the case was assigned are Senior Jamefe, presiding judge, Ifya Sewa Saribotri, and Acha JJA. They, however, observed that the panel had been reconstituted by the substitution. They, however, observed that the panel had been reconstituted by the substitution of Jamefe and Acha JJA for Pamela Cranting presiding and Kweku Akabuafu JS, leaving Asaribotri as the only justice of the original panel. The reconstitution panel dismissed the objection, holding that there was no evidence to suggest bias as the basis for the reconstitution. A black case, no, at a point, Judge Fuano Motiso, na Omutie case, no. Adeɛ kyɛ wo got na case no so no nipa na omuka case omu ya be for no Chief Justice Madam Tokunu de onu ani tumi eyi omu free case no so e another set of judges ebe ka case no omu ntie case no omu nim where the case started from. Chief Justice Madam Tokunu ablakwa case no, she committed the same crime. So it is looking like it is a behavior of the Chief Justice. She does what she wants and basically she gets away with murder. She gets away with murder every time because at the end of the day, no onim say so commit crime no cry. Nobody is going to sack her because she, from the beginning of this petition, you could see her collaboration, her behind the scenes secret letters with the president. So she's basically like an autocrat leading our Supreme Court. Now, subsequently, however, evidence emerged that Justice Jamefe was initially empaneled to preside over the matter, but was written to return the docket to Chief Justice Senior Jamefe. Subsequently, however, evidence emerged that Justice Jamefe was initially empaneled to preside over the matter, but was written to return the docket to the Chief Justice. Justice Senior Jamefe will be subpoenaed to testify in the matter. Inti omu say, or catch Akuffo Addo, Mr. President, as same way Justice Jamefe is there. Say committee no who putting it together, he can be subpoenaed to come and answer. Said the American me boa and answer me boa because Justice Senior Jamefe no what happened and then say later no omu nyina be hu say the role no Chief Justice Jeffrey in same and odema another judge. Chief Justice reconstitute the panel no at the end of the day no credible down say Chief Justice did that by her own will. Ain't subpoena, the petitioner ne kache Akuffo Addo say committee no putting it together from no mun subpoena Justice Jamefe no make say dia me came boa na say me boa o2 or chere evidence or chere facts or chere nipa also mo ba e be chere say the oka ni nyina no no kre e wo say Chief Justice no ye pamo no. Now also stating another case, which is Republic versus Elisha Mahama and two others. Sorry, Elisha Mahama and two others. Until now, we're stating cases are just say the Chief Justice no at the end of the day no or day obumraso or reconstitute panels or the nsaka judges or positions obi to meet cases where case ni ba be ready no you know the on confirm show say ni nyina no constitution is stating it clearly em waka che Mr. President say what committee na Jamefe na de nya ombetwe supini omo so ombra said the all cano esiye anase ensi. Okay, so osade another point by ya or say when the engineer so pam Chief Justice or say usurping the functions of the rule of court committee. Now, there now watch your point 47. 7 out of 19. Mr. P, Mr. S. All right. Now, in April this year, 2024, the Chief Justice issued about 10 practice directions to regulate some aspect of practice and procedure of certain courts in Ghana. This function is by Article 157 of the Constitution reserved exclusively to the rule of the court committee. Almost say April this year, Chief Justice issue some practice direction. Sebio or the call out to say courts na Ghana no regulating some aspect and practice and procedures of some of the courts. Now Article 157 of Constitution say Chief Justice no. It is the job of the court committee. Then a Chief Justice court committee's job no. What you say Jumana so solely or take a decision no a sad decision and as 10 practice directive no and directions no, it is not the job of the Chief Justice, the job of the court committee. And when you read the Constitution, Article 157 no, STT clearly say the Chief Justice is not supposed to do that. A court committee no also the Chief Justice here or say and also kaho and also Chief Justice way ya pamono. Now all say in the exercise of such functions by the rule of court committee, the said committee is required to make the rules by constitutional instrument but not by any other instrument. Into say sa emrana Chief Justice say sebio court e Ghana endis ni ade no e was say ade for the court committee no mo ye no mo krampo no e was say omudi constitutional instrument so e was say omudi emra so and enye any other emra into Chief Justice no e the emra foforo e na sebio odema sa 10 directions no but practice directions no but anka wo hwema e was say court committee na ye omo krampo no emra da ho krogin e was say omudi so e didi sa adwuma no into who is Chief Justice I decide Madam Tokonu or the Supreme Court and o breaking law anytime any day she did not care anything that all catch Mr. Akuffo Addo a president say Miami way sack her before the 7th of January. Now ukaiku anima the practice direction issued by the Chief Justice to regulate practice and procedures in certain matters in some of the courts were neither issued by the rule of the court committee nor by constitutional instrument as prescribed by the Constitution. In issuing the said directions, the Chief Justice usurped a function constitutionally reserved to the rules of court committee. It technically or basically the Chief Justice abused her office. The Chief Justice went against the law. Article 157. That alone, no, I was a Chief Justice. Chief Justice has committed a lot of crimes. And the good thing about the petition is the petitioner pointed to the crimes she has committed. And that is the most interesting thing about this petition. The petitioner was detailed. The petitioner directed the president to facts. And the petitioner told the president, if you even need people to be subpoenaed in front of the committee to back what I am saying now, they are all alive. You have the right to subpoena them. Put everything on camera for people to see that the Chief Justice has committed a crime and she does not deserve to be the Chief Justice of Ghana. So when you read the petitioner's petition, you could see, he was very clear. He was very detailed. He was very direct. He made the president understand and say, this is not out of hatred. This is out of patriotism, out of correcting the judicial malpractices the Chief Justice is involved in. Into a Chief Justice President Letias say when your time a Chief Justice Nebuso. Now when you get to point 49, I'll say it is important to add that the Chief Justice issued a direction at a ceremony to which several persons were invited and state resources expended to launch them. In so doing, the Chief Justice willfully caused financial loss to the state, as the said direction have no force of law. The disregard of the Constitution's clearly laid out process for issuing practice directions fits into the pattern of the Chief Justice's utter contempt for due process, rule of law, and the Constitution that she is enjoined to protect, preserve, and defend. Now, another point Ujina so say Yampam Chief Justice na ebine making of administrative guidelines unconstitutionally. Now, you read it and also here. Already petition na Udu point 51 or say by Article 159 of the Constitution, the Chief Justice is empowered to make regulations for the efficient performance of the functions of the judicial services and judicial council. The constitutional provision, however, says that such regulations must be made by the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the Judicial Council, and with the approval of the President, and by constitutional instrument. Now, further, by Article 157, the Rules of Court Committee is empowered to make rules and regulations for regulating the practices and procedures of all courts in Ghana by constitutional instrument. In May 2024, when the Chief Justice launched her practice directions, they were launched with administrative guidance. These directions were made contrary to the constitutional provisions which regulate the making of such guidelines. Those practices, directives that were related to the practice and procedures of the courts were not only to be made by constitutional instrument, but only by the Rule of Courts Committee. The failure to use a constitutional instrument shows a disdain for collaborative rulemaking and preference for running a one-person show. So too is the usurpation of the functions of the Rules of Court Committee. The Constitution and our history clearly frowns upon a judiciary that depends on the solitary decision of one person. Enti petitioner no, I'm a president at TSA. Even the court committee no, so no, the Rule of Court Committee no, sa group no, answer me take sa decision say Ghana court nyina ebia say ye person take a decision with Ghana. Say Ghana court bia no also almost sitting at 9 a.m. and at the end of the case bia also case bia end 2 p.m. The Chief Justice does not have the right to just go to a function and give that direction. No. The Chief Justice has to consult the President. The Chief Justice has to consult the Parliament. The Chief Justice has to make sure say and yeah or no make take that sole decision. There is something we call the courts the court committee. The court committee in the Krampono, they also have to work within some laws. They need a constitutional instrument to guide them to make those decisions. It's for the Chief Justice to solely make that decision and stand in public without consulting and making sure due process is followed, and just standing in public to say I am giving this directive. The Chief Justice has flaunted the law. It goes against Article 157. The Chief Justice knows the law, and the Chief Justice has deliberately broken the law, and that it means that the Chief Justice does not have to continue as the Chief Justice of Ghana. It was a president in the Pamono. It is looking like our Chief Justice breaks the law every 24 hours. From all that I've read, it's pointing to a Chief Justice who does not have respect for the rule of law. That is what I'm seeing. The Chief Justice does not have a respect for the rule of law because the person who appointed her does not have respect for the rule of law. The President Akuffo Addo Omumrano. That is why Chief Justice Madam Tokonu, per what the petitioner is saying and the evidence he's given, she is also following suit. She is not respecting the rule of law. And in Tina Oka say, we have to make sure, sir, Mr. President, from what has been stated here, it was not just mere say. It was not just allegations. These are facts. Letters, meetings, dates. It was this side way, Mr. President, also Pamo Madam Tokonu. Now, Mamenko Eye of Freddie grounds for removal of the Chief Justice, Article 146. Petition and say, Mr. President, in Jinaso way, and a me Jinaso catcher or say Chief Justice the boom so yam pamono, or say grounds for removal of the Chief Justice. Now, before we continue with the grounds of removal of the Chief Justice, we will take a short break. After that, na ya twaso I den akinkan sa diekosi.
We've always sung the first stanza of our national anthem, which asks for God's blessing on our homeland Ghana, and it enjoins us to resist oppressors' rule. Many have not taken the time to observe the second stanza of our national anthem, and the lyrics bear reflection. It says, "Hail to thy name, O Ghana. To thee we make our solemn vow, steadfast to build together a nation strong in unity. With our gifts of mind and strength of arm, whether night or day, in mist or storm, in every need, whatever the call may be, to serve thee, Ghana, now and forevermore." This stanza calls for a nation strong in unity and enjoins us with our gift of mind and strength of arm to serve our motherland, Ghana, now and forevermore.
It's exactly 6:03 p.m. U.S. East Coast time. It's definitely 11:03 p.m. in Ghana. You're still watching With All Due Respect extended version. My name is Kevin Akobedu Taylor. We are breaking down the petition. We are reading through the petition. We want Ghanaians to understand. The Chief Justice and that is what we are doing here. Page by page. Now ya mo tia se de ekoso. Adikudientia I was Chief Justice Madam Tokonu. I was Nana Dankwe Kufuado Epamonom. Team, are we good? Really? Team. Samo. Let me see something here. We will deal with that. Mr. P. Hey, and see grounds for removal of the Chief Justice, Article 146. Now let's go to what the petitioner has written. The Constitution, or say Article 1461 of the 1992 Constitution, provides that a justice of the Superior Court or a chairman of a regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except for, or see Article 1461 our Constitution say Chief Justice eni say pam no echire bibi say esi na nyoma na echire esi no ene na petitioner no e ka kire Akuffo Addo, or say 1. Stated misbehavior or incompetence or on grounds of inability to perform the functions of his office arising from affirmity of body or mind. Now, Momiankai 62. As already stated, your petitioner's instant petition is grounded on the first two, which are stated misbehavior and incompetence. The two words are not defined by the Constitution. In discerning their meanings, however, recourse will be had to their literal, ordinary, and grammatical meanings. The reason for the recourse to the literal meaning of the words used in the Constitution is that the court have repeatedly held that regard be paid first to the literal rule of the words used in a statute, unless recourse to such meaning lead to absurdity. Now, the petitioner or say, nyoma ojina so a okasa na dan Akuffo Addo e wasa opam madam tokonu no sebio sa words na o use no obi beka say oh sa words a we use ye no Constitution enim inti adenti na words a any Constitution mu no yenjina so na yemfa pam madam tokonu or say sebio enche so bi nkan che say o ma me control ansa na wo so odi ma me atem obi betuma ka so ma me control ni nyina it still goes down say we did ma me atem. Now or see, even though we use the exact words in the Constitution, no, this word, no, literally, no, you cannot just take it and say, because he did not basically go into the Constitution to pick exact words to say, Mr. President, Article 64, these words and these words are the ones I am basing my reasons on for you to sack the woman. No, does not mean say he does not have a case in making sure that this woman has been fired. He is saying, even though no. In semina ojina so ekasa these are the grounds I am from madam tokonu no enye nsema particular words no unu wo Constitution does not mean say it does not reflect or it does not represent the Constitution and the parts of the Constitution he has quoted to support the words. Et say o kind Bible would baby a friend Proverbs. So o kind Proverbs are say okay Proverbs ni keke say mebusam ana say Proverbs na you need to understand it in a certain way to understand what Proverbs the wom and no na petition ka Mr. Akuffo Addo say those grounds na me gina so aka say pam madam tokonu no even though words like misbehavior and incompetence might not be found in the Constitution, no, it does not mean say when you basically sit down to look at her duties and the kind of inconsistencies and misbehavior, incompetence she has exhibited during her time or during her during execution of her duties, no, it does not take away say the woman has committed a crime. Inti the word itself as misbehavior or incompetence, no, it does not mean say because it's not the Constitution, no, but I'm talking did not commit a crime. And no na oma nana dan Akuffo Addo etias say sa words now we use to say stated misbehavior and now say incompetence, no, mema Nigerian say any Constitution madam tokonu embo krono. No, he's basically making the president understand. Now or see or person or share the meaning of stated misbehavior. Now or see the definition of misbehavior has evolved over time, but it typically includes into Mr. President to say Sebio obika wona ne control ma the same person as some catch on say odidu ma amiatem enti we're using in different language but it all goes down to edien o ma baby or say the word edien misbehavior, abuse of office. The word misbehavior, it can also mean abuse of office. It's using administrative powers in a manner which brings the administration of justice into disrepute. Incompetence, demonstrating a lack of ability or capacity to perform judicial duties in accordance with the standards required and or expected of the office. 3. Unreasonableness, or say behaving in a manner that undermines public confidence in the judiciary, such as making decisions that are irrational, arbitrary, or engaging in inappropriate relationships. 4. Corruption, engaging in bribery or other forms of corruption. Moral turpitude. Moral turpitude is engaging in a conduct that is morally unacceptable, such as fraud or dishonesty. Now, Oma President Atias say, even though he did not use the exact words in the Constitution or the part of the Constitution he quoted, the words he used, they have evolved. They also have the same meanings as what the Constitution has been stating. Nobody should hide behind grammatical errors or using words just to say because he did not use this specific word, it at the end of the day we cannot punish her by sacking her, and that he's making people understand words they evolve. You can say words evolve as time goes on, they start to form different meanings. They start to magnet. As they move, they start to attract and they start to change. Their meaning starts to change, and so you cannot be static or be rigid and say because when you see some specific words in the Constitution, Madam Tokonu has not committed or flouted the laws of the Constitution or the land. It is very, very important. And until when you abutra or juja in some any brofo or use any word to match Mr. President say, it all means the same thing. The woman at the end of the day has not conducted herself well. She has misbehaved, and also she's incompetent to fill that office. Now, Oko explanation of grounds of the petition. Oche misbehavior explanation, brazen constitutional violation. And Oko down page 16. Page 16, disrepute. So what the petitioner did, and they say, the crimes the woman has committed, and he said, Obibe Jina Okache say, because me, the petitioner, I did not use some kind of words or some kind of grammar in the Constitution. It does not clearly state to say the woman has committed a crime. And in petitioner, every single statement you make, he backed it with the Constitution, and where it clearly shows to say the woman, Madam Tokonu, has committed a crime. And or make a statement to be no appointee to the Constitution. No, their catcher says statement when you link it to the behavior of the woman at this instance, it clearly goes against the Constitution. Inti Usha petitioner, that's what I'm saying. Say Papa no Choko petition, he took his time to detail it, because when you want to let the world know, say the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana is not doing the right thing, you cannot just write a piece of paper and say sack her. You need to state, you need to be factual, you need to point to what crime she has committed and what crime she has committed against the state. And the petitioner from page 1, he has been able to link every behavior of this woman, which is contrary to what the Constitution states, to let us know, say the woman has committed a crime. So it is not about grammar. It is not about you using exact words in the Constitution. It is about you pointing out the flaws and the abuse of office by using the Constitution and parts of the Constitution to back your statement. And clearly you can see, say, the petitioner, Mr. Asare, he backed every the allegation he made with facts to prove to the president to say they are not just mere allegations. These are allegations based on facts, and the facts can be pointed out through letters and also through the Constitution, what it says. Now, sir, Uridia Kodru the part where he wants to conclude that the petitioner, in his conclusion, Mr. President, this is what he said. The Chief Justice's actions discussed herein not only breach constitutional provisions, but also constitute stated misbehavior and confirm acts of incompetence. These actions undermine judicial independence and impartiality, represent an abuse of power, and create a conflict of interest. Such actions meet the threshold of stated misbehavior and incompetence as outlined in Article 1461 and therefore constitutes grounds for removal. Also, Mr. President, in some evidence I made any the part of the constitution me quote their support me grounds why the Chief Justice should be sacked. You need to understand the say it clearly shows that the Chief Justice has misconducted herself, she has misbehaved herself, and she has shown gross incompetence in administering her job. So the petitioner is telling the president, say, when you even take your time to look at the Article 1461, it clearly states, say, he has grounds to tell the president and Ghanaians as a whole, say, the Chief Justice basically has flouted the law, she has gone against the constitution, and it is on the grounds to say she has to be removed. Wache nyoma a chere se Chief Justice no e wo se pam no and wan chere ne keke otusie e no chere oye dey o chere otu dey otu bayira no wa chere sie otu bayire no wa chere sie otu bayire o baby no chere sie nti from what he has stated no catch Mr. President say in his conclusion no the match nyina chere se Chief Justice no we bu mra so or incompetent or say misbehaving ho, and it calls for her sack as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Now call page point 113 or say the Chief Justice's role is to interpret and uphold the law, not to influence the selection process of other justices of the Supreme Court or to interfere in the operations of duly constituted panels. Or say Chief Justice Nejuma no say obechire Ghana mrem Nejuma no I was say or making sure say wakyerɛkyerɛ Ghana mrem na Ghana mra no wabɔ ho ban. Sɛ Chief Justice ne na adwene sɛ ɔde ne nsa ɛbɛkeka judges adwuma ɔmo yɛ. So na adwene sɛ ɔmma ɛyɛ judges any judicial services no ɔmo nya adwene korogyen ɛmfa ɛmanage ɛyɛ Ghana sɛ be judiciary na sɛ Chief Justice no or abusing the office and answer ɔyɛ dey or call against the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Ɔkɔ n'anim na ɔse I'm trying to find where yes. Her involvement in the appointment process could unduly influence the president's decision, undermining the objectivity of the nomination process. Or see the Chief Justice here, no, it can influence the decision of the president because Chief Justice Chole Takoma president. No, guys, Mr. President, me na me the head of the judiciary. Me na me Chief Justice. Me was shortlisted people. Me was protocol list. Me pesa wodi omoba Chief Supreme Court. A bit my influence the decision of the president. Bia na inkofo na Chief Justice. The Emma President as protocol list no 5 judges no. For all you know, Bia some of them are criminals. Bia the Chief Justice is planning on conniving with some of them on personal basis or personal reasons to dupe the people of Ghana or to abuse their office. Until see for the Chief Justice to even just suggest those things to the president, you know, clearly can confuse the president or can influence the decision of the president. Meaning the Chief Justice, who is supposed to be the protector of the law and interpreter of the law, has now become the influencer of the law, has become the suppressor of the law. And into the original side, and like I said, we don't need such people or such persons to be the head of Ghana's judiciary. How could anyone not say? Here her overreach is contemptuous of the power of the Judicial Council, which she chairs. Her involvement in the appointment process could unduly influence the president's decision, undermining the objectivity of the nomination process. Her attempt to make side deals with the president puts her in a position where the president can make reciprocal demands or say per the Chief Justice aye or letter, 2 letters behind the scenes without the Judicial Council knowing, and conniving with the president and telling the president to do her a favor by bringing in a list she thinks is better for her. No, or see the dangerous woman say a day will come the president will also ask the Chief Justice for a favor, and that will at the end of the day undermine the justice system in this country. It means that so president yes our favor with my Chief Justice a day will come where the president's daughter will be standing trial. The president will pick a phone and call the Chief Justice and say let it go. Abraham said the president's daughter has committed a crime through an ambulance deal of about $32 million. The Chief Justice will make sure the judge who sits on the panel or sits on the case will tell Ghanaians say Jan Nkrumah is not guilty. And to see, these are the reasons why it is very dangerous for the Chief Justice to be suggesting to the president and having secret meetings with the president, and then their own personal vendetta or personal reasons, you know, to be imposed on the judiciary or on the court. And to say, very dangerous. When it becomes a barter trade between the president and the Chief Justice, then it means to say we don't have a judicial system, we don't have a justice system, and these are the reasons why Oka said the Chief Justice must be sacked. Now, Oko Enima or say she is therefore fatally compromised. The Constitution and established protocols dictate the process for judicial nomination, and any deviation from these procedure is unlawful. Similarly, her reconstitution of panels impairs parties' right to a fair trial and could unduly influence the panel's decision, undermining the impartiality of the adjudication process. It strikes at the core of Article 1573, which is intended to prevent any interruptions in the judicial process and ensure continuity and accountability until a final decision is made. Her reconstitution of panels is an abuse of power in violation of the constitutional benchmark for the exercise of discretion power. The Chief Justice has no administrative role once a panel is formed and cannot interfere with the judicial functions of a panel by changing members on the panel. Public confidence in the judicial system relies on the perception of fairness and impartiality. The Chief Justice's actions described would further erode this confidence, suggesting favoritism or partiality and introducing needless frictions within the judiciary. Judicial ethics requires judges to avoid actions compromising their independence or judiciary's independence. Proposing nominees could be seen as engaging in political activities, generally discouraged, if not bad for judges. Now, the all can say, Chief Justice take a decision to interfere. Judge on betting cases so making sure say as seminar air no obetime yi judge no the judge for abesho ho obetuma ka kire obi say wo de kwahya ha wo de ochina me watena we so wo de by force ranchen or see sa djuma de no enye Chief Justice djuma. Into the moment that Chief Justice Ben Addo say obey saade no, then it means say pepe yo and answer your court no and a judiciary no bibi a friend pepe yo and answer justice no, it will never be realized. If we say Chief Justice court so yes saade na, then some judges will be ruling in favor of the Chief Justice and maybe accomplices of the Chief Justice. Some of the judgments will be in favor of some people who are not supposed to get a favorable judgment. He is saying say the conduct and actions of the Chief Justice continuously reconstituting and entering panels and contradicting and forcing judges on and off their cases, which isn't her job. No, the Chief Justice is overstepping her boundaries. The Chief Justice is abusing her power, and most importantly, that confidence and belief Ghanaians a judicial system. No, the Chief Justice through her actions, no, by influencing and infiltrating, and at the end of the day, putting her powers and imposing herself on the judges sitting on cases and reconstituted panels. No, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? And they say, GD na Ghana for our judicial system. No, sa GD na yira so a sebio Ghana for ne ho be kire. Now oba asewa na or say judicial ethics requires judges to avoid actions compromising their independence or the judiciary's independence. Proposing nominees could be seen as engaging in political activities, generally discouraged, if not bad for judges. Professor Jando warned us of the dangers of an unrestrained Chief Justice when he opined that, and I quote, "If we so unfortunate as to get for our Chief Justice a cynical, mischievous, and obstinate individual who always had the ear of the president, at least a sizable section of the judiciary could be subject to mayhem with not too remote consequences of bedlam." End of quote. The mayhem is already upon the judiciary, and the bedlam will follow unless swift actions are taken to remove the Chief Justice from office on the grounds prayed and in accordance to Article 146 of the Constitution. That's the 1992 Constitution. And the petitioner says, "I therefore petition the President to initiate proceedings to remove the Chief Justice from office to uphold the Constitution, maintain the integrity of the judiciary, and restore public confidence in our judicial system. Please do not hesitate to contact me for any further information or clarification. Respectfully submitted, Professor Stephen Kweku Asare, P.O. Box 12889, Accra North. Telephone 02635299907. Email kwekuasare@gmail.com. So that is the petition. Petition na and yedi akome Akuffo Addo a ye gina so aka se Madam Tokonu e wo se ye pam no no ene na medwudwo machiro all the evidence emu letters the secret meetings, secret letters Chief Justice Akuffo Addo against the Constitution. Any basis the petitioner actually say grounds are actually say the misbehavior and also the incompetence, and the Chief Justice at the end of the day infiltrating our judicial system, imposing her will on our judicial system, and also favoring the president and his government on some political cases. The facts are there. He has pointed to the part of the Constitution that clearly states say the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana has to be sacked. And it is very important that we all understand say Nana Akuffo Addo, he still has days. He needs to take action. He needs to constitute a committee. He needs to make sure the process starts. Mema obi mbedane na nonka kase Nana Akuffo Addo. Nembra so ade oyamba so Mahama ba ye na wabebie committee. John Mahama is not president. Akuffo Addo needs to take action. So Nana Akuffo Addo take action. Na John Mahama beto petition we no take action. Nobody should say a witch hunt. This is something Akuffo Addo needs to do. So believe say the Chief Justice is not guilty. She has not abused her office. She is not an autocratic Chief Justice who is incompetent. Nana Akuffo Addo should form a committee and make sure this is heard on camera for us to know say the petitioner is making a case or is not. And if the Chief Justice is clean and squeak and the Chief Justice has not committed a crime, we all will come back and say she should go back to the Supreme Court and occupy that office. If Nana Akuffo Addo fails to take action on this petition, then it means we the people will have to force the next government to take decision on this petition. And it's very important you and I understand this ABC. I'll be back to continue tonight's show. You're still watching with all due respect extended version.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV. I see say a lot of people are moving from the traditional media to the social media. And PENDREAM, you are setting the pace because you bring the issues as they are, and the those are the issues. And then Unipa are not ready for just ordinary endorsement, but people want to hear the issues. What are the issues? What are the possible solutions? So for me, I'm endorsing PENDREAM TV, and I'm recommending say Obi Biana who affiliated traditional media and why you board with it, I'm gonna live up to expectation. Your next last stop PENDREAM TV.